In a quiet African town, where the red soil met an endless sky, there lived a man known by everyone as poor. His name was Cato. He wore old clothes, walked in worn sandals, and lived in a small house with cracked walls. To the people of the town, Cato was invisible. To many women, he was unworthy. But behind the dusty clothes and humble life was a secret no one could have imagined. Cato was incredibly rich. He owned vast land far beyond the village, successful businesses in distant towns, and wealth passed down through generations. Yet, he chose to hide it all. Years earlier, Cato had witnessed how money could destroy love. He had seen relationships built on wealth collapse the moment riches disappeared. From that pain, he made a promise to himself. He would never allow money to choose his wife. So he became poor in appearance, but rich in patience, waiting for a love that valued the heart over the hand. Every day, Cato walked through the village and its busy market paths. Women noticed him, but not with kindness. They judged him by his clothes. They measured his worth by what he did not have. Some laughed as he passed. Others ignored him completely, as if he were a shadow on the wall. Cato carried the weight of this constant rejection quietly. He never complained. He never defended himself. He only observed, watching how quickly people dismissed a man without wealth. At night, alone in his small, silent house, he would reflect on the day. The silence was a constant reminder of how lonely a poor man could feel, even when surrounded by so many people. The walls seemed to echo with the mockery he endured, the dismissive glances, the cold shoulders. Yet, even in this deep solitude, he did not give up hope. He held on to the belief that somewhere, someone would see beyond the surface, beyond the worn-out sandals and the simple home. He was searching for a love that was pure, a love that was real. One evening, just as the sun dipped low and painted the sky in brilliant shades of orange and purple, Cato's life changed forever. He met Amani. She was not the most admired woman in the village. She didn't wear fancy clothes or seek attention. She dressed simply, walked gently, and carried herself with a quiet humility. But there was a warmth in her presence and an undeniable kindness in her actions that set her apart from everyone else. Unlike the others, Amani treated Cato with respect from the very first moment. She didn't look at his clothes with judgment. She didn't question his status or his lack of possessions. She simply saw him as a human being, worthy of conversation and kindness. They began spending time together, taking long walks along the village paths and sitting under the shade of ancient trees. Their connection grew slowly, naturally, like a seed taking root in fertile ground, without any pressure or expectation. Amani never asked for gifts. She never asked for money. She never asked for grand promises of a better future. What she valued was his honesty, his quiet effort, and the kindness he showed to others. She was drawn to his character, not his circumstances. For the first time in years, Cato felt truly seen. He felt that someone was finally looking past the disguise and into his soul. As the weeks turned into months, their bond deepened into something truly special. They shared simple moments that held profound meaning, laughing at small things, supporting each other through long, hard days, and finding immense joy in the little they had. They proved that happiness wasn't found in abundance, but in genuine connection. Amani knew Cato had no wealth to offer, yet she never once treated him as less than any other man. In fact, she admired his discipline, his unwavering patience, and his calm, gentle nature. She saw strength where others saw weakness. Throughout this time, Cato tested nothing, forced nothing, and revealed nothing about his true identity. He simply watched, listened, and felt. And what he saw in Amani convinced him that true love, the kind he had almost given up on, still existed in the world. He saw a woman whose love was not for sale, whose heart was not swayed by material things. He saw his future. One day, to be absolutely certain, Cato decided to put their love through one final ultimate test. He pretended to fall into an even deeper hardship. He began to appear weaker, more helpless, more in need than ever before. He stopped working his small jobs, and word spread through the village that Cato had finally hit rock bottom. Many people who knew them believed this would be the end. They whispered that now, surely, Amani would walk away. Why would she stay with a man who had absolutely nothing left to give? But she did not leave. In fact, she did the opposite. She stayed closer than ever before, offering him care and support without a single complaint. She brought him food when he had none. She sat with him when he felt down. She endured the whispers and the laughter of others who questioned her choice and mocked her loyalty. Her actions spoke louder than any words ever could. She was his rock in a storm created by his own design. That was the moment Cato's heart made its final decision. He knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that he had found his queen. Not long after, Cato invited the entire village to gather in the main square. People came out of curiosity, wondering what the poor, forgotten man could possibly have to say. The same women who once mocked him stood proudly in the crowd, their faces smug, still seeing him as nothing more than a peasant. Then, suddenly, everything changed. A line of luxury vehicles appeared on the horizon, kicking up clouds of red dust as they drove into the village. Well-dressed guards stepped out, their presence commanding respect and silence. The entire village fell quiet, their eyes wide with disbelief. Cato stepped forward, calm and composed. In front of everyone, he began to speak. He revealed the truth. He revealed his vast lands, his successful businesses, his immense hidden wealth. A wave of shock spread through the crowd like a wildfire. The women who had once rejected him were overcome with instant, burning regret. Some lowered their heads in shame. Others stood frozen, realizing the magnitude of what they had lost, not just because they missed out on money, but because they had so terribly misjudged a man's character. Cato then revealed the true reason for his long deception. He turned to Amani, who stood beside him, confused but trusting. He honored her publicly, declaring to the entire village that she had loved him without knowing his wealth, stood by him without seeking a reward, and chose him without any conditions. Tears streamed down Amani's face, not tears of greed or shock at his fortune, but tears of pure, overwhelming emotion. She had loved the man, not the illusion. The village learned a powerful lesson that day, one that would be passed down for generations. Wealth can attract many people, but only character can attract true love. Beauty fades, money can disappear, but a good heart, a kind and loyal spirit, remains forever. Amani did not become special because she married a rich man. And Cato did not find a wife because of his wealth, he found a queen because of his patience. From that day forward, the people of the village never judged anyone by their appearance again. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next video.